Hey everybody, what's up? This is RDH Davis, and yes, before we continue, let's go ahead and talk about the hair. Yes, it's super long, it's flowy, it's glamorous. No, but yeah, ever since this whole pandemic happened, we've been in lockdown, and I've been I'll admit, been kind of iffy about and nervous going to go get my hair cut. So as soon as I feel confident and okay with going to go get my haircut, then I'll go get it. But right now, I'm actually liking it. It's not bothering me that much. But anyways, we're not here to talk about my hair. Okay, we got that out of the way. Let's talk about why we're doing this video, why I'm making this video. So this video is about what my feelings about Silent Hill coming to Dead by Daylight. Now, I am very excited to hear about that. And before we continue on talking about my feelings and what I think about Silent Hill coming to Dead by Daylight, for those of you who don't know what Dead by Daylight is, it's a video game, a horror video game, where you can play as either a survivor or a killer. Now, if you play as survivor, your goal is to work with three other team survivors, and everybody is supposed to work together, and everybody's goal as survivors is to work on generators to open the final gate and escape from the killer who's out to kill you. Now, if you play as killer, well, your main goal is to stop the survivors from escaping by killing them and offering them to the entity. Now, there's a lot of detail to go into the game, but it's alright. It's a pretty fun game. If you haven't played it, I recommend you try it. I remember it would come out a couple of times for free on the PlayStation, and maybe it was just once. Maybe, I'm sorry. But there's a lot of wonderful DLC chapters in this game. For example, Stranger Things is in this game. You can play as Steven or Nancy. They have Ghostface. They have a lot of iconic horror killers, such as Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, Michael Myers, and what else? I think that's pretty much it. But they also have some other original killers that are inspired. That you can tell they're very much inspired by the famous horror killers that are out there. But yeah, who knows? There might be new upcoming chapters for the game in the future. And right now, Silent Hill is the new chapter and a new DLC that's coming up very soon. And I think in about 2 weeks or less. I think it's going to come out in June. Let's see. Right now, we're on May the 29th. I'm making this video on the 29th, a little late. But I believe it will come out on June the 9th, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if you're interested in trying this game out, I really would recommend it. I mean, it's alright. In my opinion, it's alright. But, you know, everybody has their own opinions. You got to try it out for yourself to decide whether you like it or not. So yeah. So that's what Dead by Daylight is. Now, for those of you who don't know what Silent Hill is, it's also a horror video game. And it's not, this was a game that I got a long time ago for the PlayStation 2. It's a classic. I love this one. This one's my favorite, Silent Hill 2. I'm going to give you my best to give you my explanation of what Silent Hill is. You play out these main characters who have, some traumatized, dark experiences from their past. And they go into Silent Hill. And once they go into Silent Hill, the town, is abandoned. And it is what they say haunted, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in there. There's monsters, there's a lot of gruesome, horrific, disturbing images that happen. But what I love a lot about the Silent Hill games, mostly the first 3 and 4, is that not only is it a scary story, but it also has a moral lesson to be learned at the very end of the story. Now, I can't go too much into detail of what Silent Hill is. I would like for you all, if you happen to have a chance to go play the games, try it out for yourselves, and experience it for yourselves. If not, because sometimes I know this is very hard to get. I know there's the HD collection of Silent Hill, but I strongly, as a Silent Hill fan, I strongly wouldn't recommend you getting it, because it's a very broken game, and it's a very disappointing game as well, a remastered version of these classics. So if, worst case scenario, you don't happen to find a copy of the games for PlayStation 2, there's also for PlayStation 3. I mostly have all the Silent Hill games. If you can't get those copies, look them up on YouTube. There's a lot of YouTube channels about Silent Hill. They're talking about the history. There's the movie Silent Hill. Um, there's a whole bunch of good stuff you can find on YouTube if you search up Silent Hill. It's a really good game, and I would recommend you try it out for yourself. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get started about why I am very excited for Silent Hill to come into Dead by Daylight. So my friend, he texts me saying, "Hey, they already announced the new chapter and who the new killer's gonna be, and it's gonna be Silent Hill." And I'm like, "Don't lie, like Silent Hill? Why? You know?" Because it's so strange how in the previous DLC chapters that they brought into Dead by Daylight, I thought, how does Stranger Things fit into Dead by Daylight? How does Freddy Krueger, Ghostface, how do these worlds come together with this Dead by Daylight world? So, for me, in my opinion, I'm just like, how does it fit in? But at the same time, you're like, oh, well, that's cool. You'll play it anyways. Why would Silent Hill cross roads with Dead by Daylight? Like, how is that possible? But you know what? As I was watching the trailer and I saw it, I'm just, not only did I get super excited and it really touched me emotionally, I'm just like, F it. I'm going to play it anyways. Because guess what? You get to play as Cheryl Mason, who's the main character in, I have it right here, who's the main character in Silent Hill 3. Now you get to play as Cheryl Mason as a survivor in Dead by Daylight. Now, who is the killer that's going to come into Dead by Daylight from the Silent Hill world? It's going to be Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head is like the main villain in Silent Hill 2. He's out to hunt the main character, James Sunderland. He's mostly more like an executioner, not a killer. Like I said, I can't go more into detail of like what he is, but he is mostly an executioner, there to punish people for their sins. And in the game, you get to play as him as the killer. Now, when I saw this trailer of Dead by Daylight, not only did it touch me here in the heart, because the moment you see Cheryl Mason, who is also named as Heather, in the game, her real name is Cheryl Mason, but her father had to change her name to Heather Mason because they had to hide from this ritual group who's out there looking for them. But that's a whole different story. Anyways, the moment you see Cheryl Mason in the trailer, I'm just like, oh my god, that's Cheryl. And then when you see Pyramid Head walking in the hallway of the school, I love how you hear the siren from the original game, from the Silent Hill games. That's when the world starts to change, because in Silent Hill there are two worlds. There's the town where it's covered in fog and it's gray, dark, and creepy. But then you have the other world that turns into like this hell on earth type of place, and that's where like all your worst nightmares comes to life. It's just simply amazing, and I love that work. How Pyramid Head is dragging the sword, and you see like it's barbed wires coming out of it. I think they were very much inspired by the Silent Hill movie. I can tell. But I love that they use the same costumes that Cheryl Mason uses in Silent Hill 3. And most of all, I have to say this to the Dead by Daylight developers. I think you guys did an excellent job of making Pyramid Head look like the way he does in Silent Hill 2. Because yes, in other Silent Hill games, as Silent Hill grew, they changed Pyramid Head. They changed his model, his looks. They made him look like the way he does in the movies. But I prefer the way he looked in the original Silent Hill 2 game. So I think that was a nice touch. They may have, made a few changes to make him look, modern, make him look better. But you still get the same look and style like the way he looks in Silent Hill 2. I hope that helps you understand what I'm trying to say here. The same thing with Cheryl Mason. She's wearing like the white jacket, sweater thing, the blonde hair and everything. And by the way, the graphics look so beautiful. Just seeing Cheryl Mason's face peeking through the door, watching Pyramid Head pass by the hallway, she just looks so beautiful. And I just like, I don't know, it just gave me goosebumps, and it gave me a lot of joy to see that, and Pyramid Head. And also, a very nice touch at the very end when they show you the title, Dead by Daylight, Silent Hill. when you hear that guitar theme going on from the Silent Hill games, because in the Silent Hill soundtrack you mostly hear a lot of guitar soundtracks going on, and I thought that was an excellent touch for the Silent Hill fans, you know. And let me say this too, I think this is like a pretty good, not brilliant, I don't want to say brilliant because that's a big word, but I think it's a pretty good idea for Dead by Daylight to bring Silent Hill into this world. Reasons why is because, well, people who are not familiar with Silent Hill games can now, you know, do some research and see what is Silent Hill, who's Pyramid Head, who's Cheryl Mason. That will give them, you know, interest to go search them up. And people who are Silent Hill fans can also be like, what is Dead by Daylight? Why is it coming? You know, what's Silent Hill? What's going on here? Like, why is Silent Hill going to Dead by Daylight? What the heck is that? They can also do some research and figuring out, like, what is Dead by Daylight? So I think it's a good crossroads combination, you know, because that way they can get fans from each side of the games to come together and discover each other out. It's also a nice move because it would also bring newcomers into both games, into Dead by Daylight and Silent Hill. And I think it would really help make both games grow with the fan base from both sides. Another thing, it also gives me joy because it kind of gives me hope. You know, there's been talks about them making more Silent Hill games and Silent Hill movies now that PS5 is coming out. There are talks about other directors that want to, you know, make more Silent Hill games. And I really hope they do that because seeing this Silent Hill coming into Dead by Daylight gives me hope that, you know what, maybe there's hope that they're going to make more Silent Hill games. And it's just so interesting. I want to know how the Dead by Daylight developers got like permission from Konami, you know, for him to give them these characters, to, you know, let them bring them over to their game, Dead by Daylight. So I'm very interested to see how they did that. Like, what did they do? Like, how many times did they have to talk to him to convince him to be like, can we have the rights to these characters? Can we have the Silent Hill world come into Dead by Daylight? So I'm very interested about that. So now that we talked about who are the characters that are going to come from the Silent Hill world to Dead by Daylight, we're going to talk about the map that they're also going to input into the game. I like the map. I think, well, let's be honest. I'm going to be very honest. In my opinion, it's alright. It's cool that we get to go to the school from the Silent Hill world. I think it looks almost exactly like the way it does in the first Silent Hill game, but, you know, more remastered and stuff. It also looks a lot like the way it does in the movie, the Silent Hill movie. But other than that, I think it's alright. I think it's pretty cool. I just have this comment to say that I wish in the map, because I've already seen gameplays of it, I wish that in the map you have like the regular school, you know how it looks when it's foggy and then it's all gray and stuff. But then let's just say after a couple of minutes, like maybe 5, it then starts to transform into the hellish nightmare world of the school. You know what I mean? The red, you know, with the barbed wires and the fences and all the metal stuff, all the creepy stuff coming out. I think that would have been an awesome idea for them to do, but it looks like you're already in the nightmare world. I don't know, because it would have been nice to, you know, while you're playing the game, and when you hear that siren, because in the game, when you hear the siren sound going on, that means that, oh, you're going to go into the hell world of Silent Hill. You're playing the game, and all of a sudden you hear the siren, and you're just like, oh my god, guys, the map is about to change, and then now you see the great effects when it starts to change, and then you're in the nightmare world. It's like, I think that would have been an awesome idea, but maybe they don't have the graphics yet. Maybe in the future they could think about doing something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Now, before I go on any further, I just want to talk a little bit about the gameplay that I've seen from streamers who are already testing out the demo of the new chapter for Dead by Daylight. From what I've seen, by the way, these are going to be spoilers. If you do not want to know the Mori, which is like the finishing kill for the killers, for Pyramid Head, I'm going to talk about it. If you don't want to know what the Mori is, for those of you who play Dead by Daylight or just don't want to know anything about it, I would stop right here and skip a little bit, a couple of seconds or minutes if you would like. But I think his Mori, it's okay, in my opinion. I would have preferred if his Mori was what he does to the lady in the Silent Hill movie, where he just he's holding his victim. He just grabs a whole chunk of their flesh and then just rips it off. That Mori would have been very delightful. I would have loved to see a Mori like that. I would have been like, oh look, they're using the one from the movie. That would have been good. But maybe because they chose this Mori because they don't have that kind of graphics. They don't want to go too graphic with that. I kind of noticed. So I don't think they wanted to do that. But it would have been cool, to be honest. I also like that there's gonna be what are they called? Future cosmetics. They're gonna be called like legendary skins, if I'm not mistaken. Because in the Dead by Daylight stream that they talked about announcing the new trailer and their 4th anniversary, which is coming up very soon as well, they talked about legendary skins. Now, when Heather, Cheryl, I'm so sorry, I'm so used to calling her Heather Mason. When Cheryl Mason comes out, and she's a playable character, they said that she's gonna have a legendary skin, which means you could change her to look like somebody else. And the character that they chose for her legendary skin was Lisa Garland. And for those of you who don't know who Lisa Garland is, she's a character that comes out in the first Silent Hill game. She's a nurse, and she's the one who took care of, you know what? I better stop myself because I don't want to go too much into detail. But let's just say, I love Lisa. I liked her when I saw her in the first game, and it was cool that they brought her, they put her in the movie. So seeing that you can play also as Lisa Garland, as a legendary skin for Cheryl Mason, I think that's job well done, Dead by Daylight. I think that makes me want to buy this chapter when it comes out and play it. And you know what? I thought about this too, guys. Those of you who are fans of the Silent Hill franchise, I thought this. If they're going to do this legendary skin things for these characters, I'm not sure if they're going to have more for Cheryl Mason, you know, other than her having the legendary skin for Lisa Garland. What if in the future, and it just blew my mind thinking about it, wouldn't it be cool if they added Maria from Silent Hill 2 as a legendary skin? That would be awesome. I would love to play as Maria in Dead by Daylight, and I think that's a crazy and exciting idea. I would love to play as Maria. Maria is one of my favorite characters from the Silent Hill franchise, so that would be awesome. I mean, just thinking about it, just like, but we'll see. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna be a little picky about this. The moment I found out that Pyramid Head was gonna be the killer, I'm like, how is he gonna be chasing the survivors? Like, you know, if he's gonna be carrying that huge sword, because in the original Silent Hill games, you know, he's not running. Since he has to carry that huge sword, you know, he's just mostly walking all the time, dragging that thing behind him because it's super heavy. And I don't know, the moment I saw him chasing the survivors, moving super fast, I'm just like, I don't know, it doesn't look right, you know. But at the same time, you're just like, whatever, you know, he's in it, it's badass. I guess we're just gonna like turn a blind eye and just forget that we don't see that. We're gonna pretend it doesn't make sense, because then again, in Dead by Daylight, nothing makes sense in that world, so it's like, whatever. I do like how they made him look in this Dead by Daylight version, because, you know, he still has the big huge pyramid head, but it looks like the way it does in Silent Hill 2, but more remastered, more with a little bit more texture and stuff. He looks more buffer and like, you know, capable of carrying such a huge sword. And I don't know, I just love the new touches they did on him, but still keeping it, you know, old school. So good job, Dead by Daylight. I think it's awesome to hear that when Pyramid Head swings his sword, it's the same sound effects that they had in Silent Hill 2, because when he also swinged his sword in Silent Hill 2, it's the same sound. And I think, like, oh, those are like little Easter eggs for Silent Hill fans that just, it gets you right here. Like, nice touch, Dead by Daylight. Just little few stuff in the map that they added too. It's like, all right, you're getting us, Dead by Daylight. You're getting us. So in conclusion, I am glad, because I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm not a big fan of Dead by Daylight. Not the way I used to be in the beginning of this game, when it used to be fun. But I felt like over the past years, when more and more characters and killers came into the game, and they added more perks and updates, a lot of changes to the game, I feel like in my opinion, I don't think it's well balanced for survivors and killer. Uh, but that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people have different opinions about the game. They think that it is balanced, but for me, I don't think it is. But now, seeing that Silent Hill is going to come in to Dead by Daylight, it's bringing me back. I definitely want to come play it because I would like to play as Heather Mason again. Well, Cheryl Mason. And I would like to see, you know, this Silent Hill map. Because, I don't know, just going back to it brings back childhood memories of going playing Silent Hill games. Like, watching the trailer, I started looking back onto the Silent Hill soundtracks, the history of Silent Hill, everything about me. It just made me started going back, looking back at my childhood and looking at the games. It's just those moments when you think about this game that you haven't played in a long while and it makes you go back to it. Also, I want to mention this. Another reason why I'm very excited for this trailer is because once this chapter is out for Dead by Daylight, it's gonna feel so nice to go back into, even though it's a small map of Silent Hill, it's the best that we're gonna get so far until any further notice that they're gonna release any future Silent Hill games. Because after the Silent Hill franchise died down, I was missing going back to Silent Hill. I mean, sure, I could always replay the games and stuff like that, but playing new Silent Hill games would be also fun to explore new places in Silent Hill. But since this is the best that we're going to get for now, it would feel nice to go back into the Silent Hill world and just, because I miss going back to Silent Hill. I miss going back to that foggy, creepy town and going into the other world when it turns into like this hell nightmare. I miss it, I really do. And I really do hope they make more Silent Hill games because there's a lot of strong Silent Hill fans still out there, and I think it's a beautiful thing that Dead by Daylight is keeping the franchise of Silent Hill still alive in a way. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. And like I said, I think this is a smart move, and I think it feels like a possible good vibe that maybe there is hope for the Silent Hill franchise. Because for those of you who don't know, the Silent Hill franchise, I'm gonna say French fries, franchise did die down after Silent Hill PT. There was going to be a new upcoming Silent Hill game, but under some circumstances, they just completely canceled the game. And ever since then, Silent Hill just went completely quiet. We haven't heard anything about new games for it coming out. It just felt like it just died. And it got me so sad thinking like there's not going to be any more Silent Hill games. And thinking about the Silent Hill HD Collector's Edition, how it was such a big disappointment. It's such a shame that we're never going to... People who are new to the franchise would never get to experience how Silent Hill 2 and 3 and 1, how those games, terrified us when we were little and we were young when we first played those games. But hopefully this is a sign that there's hope, and maybe there will be future Silent Hill games to come. And we'll just have to wait and see. I think they did a good job. Dead by Daylight fans, good job for bringing me back into your game, to your Dead by Daylight world. We'll see how it goes. It looks fun. I've seen gameplays. I've seen some YouTubers and Twitch streamers play this game as Heather and Cheryl Mason and Pyramid Head. And remember, this chapter of Silent Hill coming to Dead by Daylight will be out June the 9th. I hope so. That's if anything, they don't have any delays or anything. And you could also be part of their 4th anniversary. So if you don't have the game Dead by Daylight, try to get it as soon as possible. Because I think that their latest cover for Dead by Daylight, you could, once you purchase the game, I think it also comes with the Stranger Things DLC chapter. So it's like, why not? If you're a fan of Stranger Things, get it. As soon as the new chapter comes out, like I said, it's going to come out on June 9th. I will be streaming it live on my Twitch channel, which, by the way, you can follow me if you like. It's under RDH Davis, the same name as in my YouTube channel. And hopefully you can catch me playing the new chapter there live, and we could talk about it. And if not, I could always upload it to YouTube. No worries. I will make a review about the game, like how it feels and everything. I will probably make another review about it once the new chapter comes out. I'll probably talk more about it. I could talk forever about Silent Hill, but that could take hours. So, but yeah, thank you guys so very much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this video of me talking about why I'm very excited about Silent Hill coming to Dead by Daylight. I can't wait to try it out to see how it looks. By the way, guys, before I forget, if you're interested, go check out the Silent Hill. Well, it's titled Dead by Daylight Silent Hill theme. Go check it out, and the music in there just sounds good. I like it because as you hear it, it has a mixture of Dead by Daylight soundtrack with a little bit of Silent Hill as well. I mean, it's a good combination because you could hear the little guitar and like the little eerie, beautiful sounds of Silent Hill in there. And I'm telling you guys, just hearing that kind of sounds, those moments, just takes you back into the Silent Hill franchise, and I don't know, I love it. So yeah, without any further ado, thank you all so much for watching. Please stay safe out there, and I hope to see you on the next video. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, because in the future I will be uploading more stuff. Take care, everybody. Love you all.